Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of According to Sacha Podcast. We're right here with you every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another special guest. Each week, we're bringing somebody who is bringing some great information, who's doing some amazing things in their businesses, and they're just being trailblazers and disruptors and everything. And I have another powerhouse for you for tonight. And so, before I bring Miss Sheryl Mays on, you know what we got to do, right? We have to like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share all of our platforms. We're here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then we're also on Spotify Video Podcast, as well as Amazon, iHeart, and the whole list goes on down at the bottom. And so I definitely want to thank you for showing up every week, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replays or you're listening. Thank you so much for everything, because everything that you do for us on this platform, you do for everyone else that is on this platform. So thank you so much. And I don't have a whole lot of things to talk about. I do have one sponsor tonight. And then after I bring up the video with the sponsor, I'll be back with Miss Sheryl Mays. Entrepreneurship, small business, is something that everybody would love to do, making their own money. And this is what we will be talking about on According to Sacha. Hey, Sheryl, how are you?
I am doing well. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here tonight on this show, gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much. And
Absolutely.
thank you. Now, I have one question. Like, I know who you are. I've seen you in action, but I want you to let the audience know, who is Sheryl Mays?
Thank you. Sacha, it's good to see you again, my friend. Last time we saw each other, we were in Paris, having
Yes.
an amazing experience. So it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Who am I? So I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother, first time grandmother. So we're still working on the name. I like glamour. Right
Oh,
now, it's just Ma. So
okay.
it is what she says it is at this
Uh-huh.
point. So I love doing what I do. I have a passion for helping people get from where they are to where they want to be by applying simple techniques that you might not think about, but it's looking at something from a different lens. And I like to say, if you spend time with me, you'll look at things just a little bit differently. So I love helping entrepreneurs. I'm also an author. I'm a speaker. I believe in words, the power of our words. And so I have a community that's built around affirmations and just the power of I am, because that is such a powerful statement. I got a lot of stuff going on. I've got a podcast. I am one of those individuals that sit back and go, what's next?
Mm.
Right? What's the next thing that Cheryl's going to do? And lo and behold, it's always something. But here's the magical piece to it, though, Sasha, is that whatever it is, it's in alignment.
Mm.
Right? It's in alignment, so it's not like it's apples and jewelry.
Exactly.
Right? We know some people that do 15 unrelated things and try to figure out why isn't it happening.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. That is so true. But I love that the fact that you are, you're not afraid of doing the what's next. and how you brought up the alignment part of it, because I'm listening to you and I'm just like, you know what? Shit, I'm in good company because I'm that same way. Like I have this, I have that, I do this and do that. And I look at what's next, but that what next is the level up. Even if it's,
Exactly.
as long as it's in alignment, but it's something that's going to scale up, it's going to level up. You're building your assets, is what I love to call it. And you could do it and not have apples and jewelry. It's like just two different worlds. But I do want to say Grandma would be definitely the better choice, because
Right?
you got to let them know, like, you are not yesterday's grandmothers. No offense to all the
Exactly. The
grandmothers out
beautiful
there.
grandmas and nanas that are out there.
It's just like this is a whole new era of grandmothers, because it's like, we're the process is a lot different. We're taking care of our bodies more. We, so many different things, and it's like we don't, look like the mothers and the grandmothers from the 50s and the 60s or the 40s or anything like that. And like I said, no offense to anybody out there,
Right.
but this generation on, up from us, is like it's a whole different type of people, so definitely grandma, you just let them know that's what
I'm
you
gonna get her. She's gonna get it. She's gonna get
gonna
it.
get it.
Right now she's 2, so is Ma. And I'm like, okay.
All right,
Now my
that's
daughter
good.
and I just go, is it you or me she's calling? Which one?
It's just like, but your cue is like, well, nah, she talking about you.
Exactly.
I
Yes,
love
indeed.
it. I love it. So tell me, so I was looking over your bio, very extensive, and I love everything that you do. So how have you been able to balance your alignment of things that you have in your life?
Um, really, three things. Three things. Number one is focus, and that's something that you have to learn. Focus is not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, which is why people can't meditate. Right? It's that lack of focus. You cannot stay focused for. I think I'm sure there's some statistic out there for how long a person can stay focused before their mind wanders. And whatever that statistic is, I'm sure it's very short. And so focus for me allowed me clarity, because then if I have clarity, I can say no to things that don't serve my purpose and don't allow me to provide the impact that I want to make. I can freely say no and not feel guilty, or like I've let somebody down or myself down, because that frees me up to be a genius in what I'm really good and passionate about.
Yes, I love that. It frees you up to be the genius, what you love and passionate about. That is awesome. Now, I know that you're the founder of Rise and Shine Consulting, and you are the Chief Experience Officer. So let's get into, and I just want to say, I love that, it just took out the whole executive part. It's like, no, we're going to create some experience. I am the chief of creating experiences, for a customer. And that's part of your strong suits. It's customer service and customer experience. So I want to kind of dive into you finding your business, Rise and Shine. Like, how did that come out? And then how did you know to take that skill set and apply it into entrepreneurship?
So we'll do the name first. The name came about during a time in my life when I needed to rise and shine. We always have these experiences that we get through, and once we realize that doesn't define me, that's just something that happened to me, I can now take this experience and make something out of it that is just amazing, incredible, and explosive. And so in that darkest time, when I really did find something that resonated with me, and it's interesting because there are certain things that can kind of, it's like you're in this fog and there's something that comes in and the fog lifts, and it's like you hear the music playing and you're at the right place at the right time for your particular situation to be taken care of. And so I saw this passage and it said, when she remembered who she was, the game changed.
Ooh.
And that resonated with me. And it's by Layla Delilah. And it resonated with me because that's what I needed at that particular time in my life. And I said, listen, Rise and Shine is such a common name. I can never get it trademarked, but it means something to me. It represented a moment in my life when I needed to get up, rise and shine, look yourself in the mirror and say, you are enough. You're worthy of your success. You got this. You're never alone. Do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have that talk every now and then.
A lot
Every
more
now
than
and
that.
then.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right. Every now and then we have to have that look yourself in the mirror kind of conversation and say, okay, what's it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how the name came about. The symbol is actually a lotus flower.
Okay.
And the story of the lotus flower is that, very quickly, a lotus flower is it rises up from the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And it's surrounded by mud and water, and it rises up, and it's this most beautiful, magical flower that just opens up towards the sun. And so those two things together is how I realized that's how I want to live every single day, rising up to the sun, rising and shining every single morning, putting my best foot forward, as they say.
Yeah.
And I want to see that in other people, and I want to help other people believe and do things that they thought they might not be able to, because when you get to the other side, oh my gosh, it is just so amazing to look back and go, that's what I let stop me. That stopped me for so long, and here I am now, being able to look back and now share that story with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the name came about. How I got connected with customer experience and customer service. I've been in sales for a very, very long time, either in nonprofits. So I was a fundraiser. So I raised millions of dollars for some national organizations. Went from there into education, became the VP of admissions. And so it was all about creating experiences for students and then creating experiences for the community, because we were tied to multiple high schools, and that's how it started. Okay. And I realized the importance of not ever having to sell, because that's, when you're an entrepreneur and you go, how many of you are salespeople? Nobody raises their hand. It's like, but you're an entrepreneur. You're right. A salesperson. Yes. You sell. That's what you do. But all nobody wants to use that word. Yeah. But that's what we do every single day. You're either selling a product or service, or you're selling your ideas or yourself, right? You're the brand. So you're selling yourself. And what I realized that allowed me to be successful wasn't the fact that I was selling. It was the fact that I was making relationships. I was making connections. I was following up with people. I was delivering on my promises. And I started and then in the business, I started to do like the sales funnels. And I was like, yeah, I've been in sales for so long. I can teach people funnels. And I was like, I don't like funnels. I was like, I can teach people conversion rates. And I was like, I hate conversion rates. I said, you know what? I can teach people how to formalize relationships that allows the business to be sustainable.
Yes.
So you want to talk about longevity. That's what I want to help people do. And it's not always about the latest ad that you purchased or the marketing campaign that you did. It's what are you doing with those existing customers that you already have access to? Mm-hmm. Let's work smarter, not harder. You got these people that's already purchased from you. How are you cultivating those relationships so that they come back more, so that they tell other people about their experiences and they bring you new customers? So that they increase their frequency of purchases. There's this whole reciprocity of providing exceptional customer service. Yeah. There are financial rewards.
Yeah, that is so, so true. I love, I'm just sitting here because, having this conversation with you, we really, when we was in Paris, it was so much back and forth, everything was going on. We talked, we spoke, and we said hi, smiled and everything. But having this conversation right now, it's like, wow, you're speaking so much of my language, and I love that. And being able to be in the presence with somebody who thinks the same way and excel in that way, and it really is about relationship. When you brought up about how are you going to retain your customers, I feel like there are so many people in this day and age in business that people move so fast that they're so busy thinking about that sales strategy and that branding strategy that they don't formalize the tactics and the action plans to help retain. You can have all the sales, you can bring in all the profits and everything, but what are you going to do to keep it flowing? And I think sometimes some people forget that you have to nurture who you have to gain more. And that's a big process. So with all the entrepreneurs that do follow me, I would love to kind of dig into the whole customer experience and the customer relationship part of it, because big corporations get it for the most part, but a lot of small businesses still do not get it. We have people who are, and let me put a disclaimer out here before I get started. I am in no way talking about anybody that I've seen on my Facebook or on Instagram or anything like that, what I'm about to say. But there have been countless times that you see people in various settings get frustrated with their clients and customers, and they're ready to blast them on social media. And that's not always good. It's not the key, because your next customer that you didn't know you had could be watching that.
Exactly.
So let's kind of dig into like how important it is for small business owners and entrepreneurs to really grasp on to the importance of customer service.
And I love that question, Sacha, because you're absolutely right. When you look at the mammoth companies, they get it. They understand the importance of providing an experience that drives customers' behaviors in a way that's positive to the financial bottom line. Because that's how that works when you think about it as a strategy. When it comes to small businesses, they don't look at that strategy from that lens. So there's a different type of lens that they look at, and customer service is there's a misconception about what customer service actually is. Right? So customer service is not just picking up the phone and answering questions. Right? That's beyond, that's nowhere near the capacity of what customer service is. And customer service is the interaction. That's the speaking to you. Good morning, Sacha. It's so nice to see you again this morning.
Yes.
Or, Sacha, I haven't seen you in a while. How things been? Right now, you know that I notice you.
Yeah.
Right? What does that do for you? It makes you feel good.
It does.
Right? You feel warm. You feel like a part of the family. Now you and I can have a conversation. I can ask you different things. Now I'm getting information that's going to tell me what is it Sacha needs. Yeah. Now I know how to better serve you, whether it's a product or a service. I now know how to better serve you. I don't have to trick you. I don't have to do a 40-piece survey questionnaire, right? I can just have that conversation and say, Sacha, you've been with us for 10 years. What is it? Right? Tell me what it is. And now you tell me, I take that information. I now use it when I communicate with future customers, right? Yes. I've got customers that like us because now I have got firsthand information that helps when I'm having conversations with people that are referrals from my existing customers. It helps when I have that difficult customer, right? And I need to turn that conversation around so that it ends on a positive note. That information helps me to be able to do that. Yeah. So that's why I say there's a strategy behind it. And I spend a lot of time with solopreneurs, really trying to get them to understand what is your customer's journey. And so the first question that I ask is, take me on the experience. I walk into your place. What happens next? Because if you can't guide me through the experience, then that means you don't know what the experience is yourself. So now how do you know that your processes are streamlined? How do you know what the customers are saying? Because you haven't taken, I say, take the safari, right? Go on it yourself. Go to your website. We go to websites. How many times have you gone to a website and you're like, I've been in this site for like 3 hours. I got into this click thing, and then I went to another click. And next thing I know, I don't know where I ended up. I don't know what I was looking for. Then what happens? They shut it down and they don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so good. I love that. And I'm sitting here thinking how it's like that relationship aspect is, sometimes I feel like it comes natural. A lot of things come natural to who we are as people.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, then there's things that you can cultivate at the same time. So those that you see that's natural and it comes and it just flows, and that's that person that can say, "Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while." I'm that person. I'll be like, "Hey, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been doing?" Or you express something to me like 3 weeks back, and the next thing I remember it next time I see you is, "Oh, how was that thing?" That's just who I am. But then there's some people that has to be really trained and taught and
Mm-hmm.
cultivate that out of them because of whatever reasons. Sometimes it could be, personal or whatever. They're just not that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to you, I was reminded about a customer relationship program that I actually wrote. And things that you touched on, like that customer behavior, like that is a real thing. So when
Mm-hmm.
you understand the different behaviors of what make people buy, whether it's a product or service, and you're right, it is about the experience. And so, it's just like, I just wish that a lot of people would grasp that. And after tonight, I believe they will. And they have the opportunity. And this is what you provide as a service, that you can actually train other entrepreneurs within Rise and Shine Consulting.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
and I have an academy. So I have an online e-learning platform, which is live facilitation. I don't like the pre-recorded and the self-paced because people don't finish that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3/4 of the way through, a half of the way through. I got 5 programs open, haven't finished one. So I like the live facilitation, and that's what Master the Sale Academy. It's all about customer service. It talks about communication. It talks about the providing an exceptional experience. It's like even to help you with your pitch, to even help you with the pitch, so you can get those customers initially. I think you got to have that conversation piece down too. How are you communicating with your customers so that within the time frame that you have the opportunity to engage curiosity, so that you can set up time to get together again. Let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. So the academy is really designed for that. I also go into corporations and do on-site trainings and new hire trainings and all of that for sales teams and sales professionals. And here's the thing about it, and let's get this right, is that we're using the term sales, but it's everybody in the organization needs to have customer service, because you have that internal customer, right? You don't talk about employee engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Have that internal customer, your employees, whether it's one employee or 2 employees, they should still have the same passion for your business that you do.
Yeah.
Because that's how they're going to treat your customers. So if you're not treating them with respect and showing them that they're valued, then they're not going to do that for your customers. Yeah. So that's where you get to the thing of, treat people the way you want them to treat your people.
That is so true, because they help to build the company. That's another way of building the company. Everybody that is on your payroll, whether they're on the payroll or they're interning, whatever it is, if they're carrying your business name in over their name, then they are a reflection of who you are for your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And think about how much money that is. You can look up a bunch of statistics. For example, just throw Disney out there. One server at Disney has about 1.5 to $5 million of the future assets of the company go through their hands. So is it important for Disney to teach their employees how to say, thank you, may I help you? Yeah. What else can I do? Can I help you take your tray to your table? Is that important? Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. And I would say one of the
bottom line piece of it, it makes more sense for people.
It definitely does. And another good case study would be Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. It's to a point where they've made customer service a brand.
Yes.
It's not just a way of doing things, but it's their brand now. So everybody knows, like, hey, we're going to get good service. We don't even have to check the bags because we know everything is going to be there.
Exactly.
One time I missed some fries or something. I had to go back, but
and that person probably couldn't sleep that night. He's like, oh, I let Chick-fil-A down.
And that's so true, but you have that from the time that you show up, whether you're inside or in the drive-through, and people don't mind waiting in that long line because they get that good service.
Exactly. And and you have to think about the mindset behind the fact that they have a drive-through where you can talk into the kiosk, but they also have people before the drive-through so that you see that this line is moving. Right. So there's all this type of psychology that goes behind that. And a lot of times the small businesses don't look at it in that same regard. But to think about this, 5% increase in retention can yield you anywhere from 20 to 95% increase in profits. And that's bringing customers back. And it's not always, having that frustration as an entrepreneur. Oftentimes you get to a place where you've reached a plateau and you're like, I don't have any more new customers coming in because you weren't working the pipeline. And now it's dried up and you're looking at, wow, now I have to start planting seeds. Right. But if you had been planning along with those existing customers, now it's a thing of just reaching back out, connecting with them and saying, hey, I just want to check in and find out how things going with you and the product that you just purchased.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think that, in your opinion, our digital age that we're in right now has a big part in how disconnected we are when it comes down to, looking at the customer service aspect, but knowing that it's beyond customer service, more so about, like you said, the relationship or how we deal with each other as people? Would you say like the online piece, everything being so much on social media, has a big part in that change?
I think it does. It plays a part in the change, but the automation aspect is supposed to be about efficiency. And it's not supposed to supersede a human connection. And it's not supposed to supersede placing memories into a person's data bank that they then share. And it's to make people's lives simpler. I don't need to speak to you and be on hold for 15 minutes just to get my password reinstated. Right? I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to speak to you if I wanted to change my name on my account. I shouldn't have to be on hold 20 minutes to get to a person to do that. I should be able to go into the system, self-serve, boom, 30 seconds, I'm done. I can go on with the rest of my day. That's how the digital and the human aspect work in tandem. Right? You free up my time. One of the worst things to do is to disrespect a customer's time. Right? When you show that you don't respect the time because I'm not calling you back like I said I was, I haven't responded to you in a timely fashion when you sent me that email or you left me that phone message. And so now I'm not respecting your time. And what's happening is the customer is now getting frustrated. And so now what happens? Well, now the customer has to call in. And now they've reached levels of frustration. Now you have your disgruntled, angry customer. They didn't wake up that way. They didn't wake up that way. They crossed over levels of frustration. And a lot of times it's because of systems and processes. And that's why I say you have to check the experience. Take the journey yourself. Find out if your FAQs are really helpful. Right? Is it sending somebody off of your site and then they can't figure out how to get back on? Is your site easy to read? I can't tell you which drives me more insane than to see people that have a gray background with yellow font. And I'm like, who can wait, really?
Not even with glasses. You'd be like, what?
Exactly. This is the stuff that people don't think about.
That's true.
And it adds frustration to the customer because now I don't even want to look at your site because my eyes hurt.
Because what they were there to get, they were like, oh, forget it. I'm going to go look somewhere else. Let me find it somewhere else. And, they're going to your competitor or something like that.
There you go. Exactly. Because if you don't take care of them, your competitors will. They'll be like, yes, come over here. We love customers.
Yes. And then next thing you know, they're on Google doing the reviews and everything.
Exactly. Yes.
This is so good. I love this conversation. Anybody's out there is watching, if you have any questions, this is the time to drop your questions in the chat and, ask about it. Even if you had something that you may have maybe been off about dealing with a customer, or something that you did well, but maybe wasn't well received, like, this is the time to ask questions now. So definitely just get into this while I have Miss Sheryl here for a little bit longer. And so let's go ahead and talk about, you have these tips that you have.
Yes.
Yes. And they're free. I'm going to actually drop them in the 10 tips. I'm going to drop them in the chat.
And I call them Sheryl Saucy Customer Experience Tips.
All right. Sheryl Saucy.
And this is what's so interesting about them. Some of them you'll look at and you'll go, that makes perfect sense. Right? But then you'll go, I haven't been doing that one. Right. So they're and that's what I love about it, is because customer service, even with its nuances of how you can better engage, how you can drive customers' behaviors, how you can have the reciprocity of providing that service, there are still pieces where you can say, gosh, this is so, it's so well known, right? We're supposed to smile. That's so common. Yeah, that's not a tip. Yes, it is. It is, because think about it. A person can hear if you're smiling over the phone.
Yeah.
Right? They hear it in your voice. So just because you're thinking, well, that person can't see my face, I don't have to smile, it comes across in your voice. Even if you're in a meeting and you decide to go on Zoom and nobody decides to turn on their video, right? But you're still communicating. I can still tell by the inflection in your tone whether or not, you're frustrated, you're anxious to get off of the phone, you're excited about having this conversation with me. I can hear all of that in your voice. So even something as getting a tip that says, hey, remember to smile. Yeah. It's because far often we go into places and we go, gosh, how did they get up front?
But something as simple as that tip, you think about it in this perspective, like, how do you feel when you encounter someone who smiles at you, or give you a compliment or says good morning with a smile or anything like that? It makes you feel good. So, you give that back to others. So that's so true.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a very quick story. I trained a group of casino valet workers. And so you think valet, much like what they did, right? They thought, well, we just park cars. Yeah. People never really pay us any attention. I said, no. I said, you're thinking about it wrong. When people pull up to that casino, you are the first person they meet. You're the first leg of their experience. So you set the stage. And it was just like light bulbs had went off. And as I said, what are your takeaways? They're like, I never realized how important my role was. So it's things like that. You just don't put it into the realm of the role that you play in that experience stream. And everybody in the organization plays a role.
Yeah. And when you see that and that investment that way, the performance goes up.
Exactly. Yes.
So when there's employees, the performance goes up. You see more people, like the casino. They probably say, you know what? I went to this casino and the valet guy, he just hit me with a smile. You got to go to this casino. Next thing you know, you got a more influx of people. The increase comes and so forth because of that initial reaction and engagement. That's good. Yeah, definitely. Now you have a book.
Yes.
As well. So let's talk about this book. And you have a preview link that I'm going to drop in the chat for everyone while Miss Mays talk about it.
This book is called, I've gone through a series of titles, but it's going to be Make the Sale Memorable. And SALE is an acronym. And it's an acronym for the customer's needs, which is simple, accountability, loyalty, and an experience. I like to keep things very simple. I think we complicate things far too much, and that's why people don't do things or they don't follow through. And so this book is actually dropping in April. So in a few weeks, this book will be dropping. And I'm so excited about it because it's not just a sit down and read book. It's an activity book. It's you sitting down, doing some serious internal thinking about the methods that you utilize to get referrals, to entice customers, to engage with customers. I want you to level up your power. The power that you have, and that is customer service, is the superpower that you are not using. I know you're not using it to the magnitude that it can really help you scale, grow, and sustain the business.
Yes, yes.
And so this book is just a preview. It's a short book. I think it may be like maybe 6 or 7 pages, but it's really short because it's just to show you what you're going to get when you get the real book. You know, most people do excerpts and they go, I have an excerpt from my book. I didn't want to do an excerpt. I wanted you to get a preview to really get a feel of what the book is going to be about.
That's good. I love that. I know I'm gonna have to get that book too.
Yes, you can download that. So you download the preview and then you can get on the pre-order list. There's a link within the ebook where you can get on the pre-order list for the actual book.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, definitely everybody make sure you click that link. I've already put it in the chat. Get your 10 tips. Was it the Sheryl, the saucy?
Yes, Sheryl saucy customer experience tips.
There we go. We're going to get saucy, you guys, and these customer service tips and everything. And then also with the book, and I threw everything in the chat. So we have one more. You have this Fearless Creator Summit.
Yes.
I just love the name in itself. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So it's a summit. It is a virtual summit. It is the first of its kind. Those of you that are on Clubhouse, there are massive amounts of opportunities to collaborate on Clubhouse. And that's where this actually came from. There's a club, Hey Grower You Can, and they're doing their first virtual summit. And we've got 50 speakers, and we are all talking about different things. It's business, it's mindset, it's social media, it is imposter syndrome. So it is the full gamut. It is 3 days long. And guess what? The tickets are free. I like to say they're gifted. I don't like the word free. I like gifted. The tickets are gifted to you. Now, here's the cool thing, though. The tickets are gifted, but you have an opportunity to get the Power Pack access, which has over $3,000 worth of courses and masterminds and all types of things that you would normally have to pay for. You have access to that, and it's like $67. So the tickets, again, are gifted to you, but I would get the upgrade, get your products, because if you're in business, and even if you're not, there's so many different types of speakers that will be performing, and they all have put gifts into the Power Pack. So you're going to get some amazing stuff.
And what's so exciting about this, Sheryl, I get to share that virtual stage with you. I was sitting here like when you said, hey girl, I was like, oh, that's me, I'm up there too. I have so much going on.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Together.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
and that's
yes.
that's that thinking we said in the beginning, right? Next level. What's next?
Yes. That is definitely it. So, Sheryl, it's been a pleasure having you tonight. I really am enjoying this conversation. Like I said, I love talking to people. You know, we could talk about the same type of things, and we see where we're aligned in so many different ways. I'm just like, yes. So this is perfect and wonderful. Thank you. So I'm going to put your information up here, and everyone, this is how you can contact Sheryl. Like she's everywhere, you guys. She's on all your social media. She had a whole list, but the list would not fit. So you can just find her with the best way to do is go to her website.
There you go.
And then that way, that would direct you to everywhere else for you to go. But she is on LinkedIn and she's on Facebook. She's everywhere. But she's here. And I'm glad that you're here tonight. And that way you'll be able to meet her and see what she's all about. So you go to the website. I would just definitely tell everyone, register, get with her about her academy. You know, it's all about longevity. It's all about sustainability. And one of the things that I always say is, especially with the pandemic, the pandemic shifted a lot of things for a lot of people. Some people started businesses, but there were so many people that lost businesses. Mm-hmm. And as we go into like this whole talk about recession, and you got the inflation, you have so many things that could be uncertainties. But when you start to work on your business now in a different ways, and like what Sheryl talked about, that customer service. And that's another way that you can scale your business for longevity. So we want to look at that more so than just profitability all the time. We know that's going to come, but that longevity and sustainability is how all these other big corporations has been able to withstand hundreds of years, especially the family corporations. So we want to get y'all into that. So that's like one of the reasons why I always bring good, not just only entrepreneurs, but thought leaders and those who can get out here and really train you to be the best that you can be. And I'm bringing the best, just like tonight, Sheryl Mays in front of
Yeah.
you guys. So definitely put this on replay and keep replaying it and capture it, and then get with Miss Sheryl and get it going. So that way you can have that customer service experience that everybody definitely would love to have. We just got to get it right. And so who showed up in the comments? Okay. Hey, Ari, we have one person commenting. Thank you. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out. So I want to give you the opportunity to give like final words of wisdom.
Oh my gosh. Listen, if you're in business, you have a superpower. And if you're not maximizing on that superpower, then you are missing a massive opportunity. So definitely take a look at how you are interacting with your customers and better manage those relationships. And go to the summit, get the book, and come to the academy.
Yes, yes, yes. You heard it, you guys. She gave you some action steps. Do all three.
You know?
Do all three. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Sheryl. It's been such a pleasure. And thank you, everyone else, for watching and listening tonight. And on that note, you guys, make sure that you be great in everything you do and command your day and walk in your superpower, you guys. Have a good night.